Hello again, friends. Welcome back to the Dan Raber Project. This episode is with my new friend, Austin Niel. Austin works at Euphorbia Coffee Shop in New Orleans, where last week's podcast happened. Austin was really kind enough to sit down with me for a couple minutes and just explain what Euphorbia is and what they offer. We talk a lot about Kava and Kratom, which I didn't know anything about. I'd heard about Kratom, but I had not heard about Kava, and he was kind enough to drop some knowledge on us. So, big shouts out to Euphorbia. Check them out on Instagram at Euphorbia Kava Bar, I believe is what it is. I'm sure if you look them up, you can find them. So be sure to go check them out. They have a really, really cool, positive environment there. And they were all very welcoming to me as an outsider. I just felt really safe there, and it's just a really cool environment. You should go check it out if you're in the New Orleans area. So, without further ado, Austin Niel, Euphorbia. Here we are once again. Welcome back to the program. I have my friend Austin here. We are at Euphorbia. Euphorbia.
Yeah.
And it is a Kava bar.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about what is Kava?
Well, so Kava comes from the Pacific Islands.
Okay.
It's drank in Vanuatu. They drink it in Fiji. People have drank it for centuries. It's a natural muscle relaxer as well as an anxiety reliever. It's used in different religious ceremonies. People would drink it to settle disputes. Recreationally it's used as just a chill out kind of a lot of the customers are recovering alcoholics that use this place in place of that, so they'll show up every day and have the same kind of social setting. And there's a back patio that fills up with people.
For sure, it's a really nice space. There's a bunch of rooms and a bunch of games. It's very very inviting, I guess is the word I would use. So your job here is a barista?
Yeah, if that's the term, something like a bartender, something like that. Yeah.
And you brew kava, is that correct?
I guess so. Brewing maybe is they're really just I'm mixing drinks, kind of. They're made just like cocktails. They're made.
Okay.
Yeah, not like kava is like it's a kind of root that's ground into a micronized powder.
Okay.
And then after that, it's put into a shaker with whatever you're drinking with. Traditionally, it's water and coconut milk.
Is it usually served hot?
No, it's served cold. If you kava cannot be heated,
okay, or
it cancels out the effects of it somehow. I have heard of somebody making kava dabs with like oil.
Yeah.
But that only works because it's zapped with such a high temperature at once that there is like I've noticed this brand Yogi that makes teas like eucalyptus and whatever other kinds of teas. They have a kava tea, but I don't know if it's just the leaf that they're using in the little tea bags. It's supposed to have the same kind of calming effect that kava does, but it's not, I think, catallactones. That's the effective, that's in the roots and the stems of the kava. It's not in that kind of tea. It's usually explaining to people that have said they've had kava tea before that it's not the same thing.
Gotcha. So yours is more of it's just a mixture. It's not, I wouldn't call it a tea per se.
Yeah, it's more just a mixture. Okay. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a few different drinks on the menu. Most of them have coconut milk on it just to stick with the traditional, way kava's drink.
Okay.
Other than that, we do have a happy hour between 4 and 7, and that's what most of the regulars do, is because you get a double for the price of a single, and it's just a small amount of water, and people just slam it down really quickly.
Okay. So when I found out about that I was coming to this place, I had no idea what kava was, and I looked it up, and the first thing that I saw was like, it's harmful to the liver and all this stuff, and it was like all these warnings, but I started to look into it more, and it looked like that wasn't necessarily like a huge red flag that you should be concerned about. Can you comment on that?
Not so much the negative effects of it. I mean, it will make, that is one thing, whenever you have too much of it, you'll just feel nauseous and want to throw up, but yeah, it is bad on your liver. I don't know the ratio to like compared to a drink of alcohol.
Right.
How much worse than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, even the texture of it, it's a thick, grainy, it's like sand almost.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I've known people that have drank it for years and they've never had any kind of long-term troubles with kava.
Yeah. But that was kind of what I got out of my research. It was like there is this potential problem, but it's not as big of a deal as some people make it out to be.
Yeah, it's not, and it's hard to. We do serve kratom too, and that's another thing with kava's a little more under the radar with that, but
yeah, I've heard about kratom. I've seen it sold in gas stations. And
yeah, it is sold in gas stations. It's everywhere now.
Can you tell me a little bit more about kratom?
Well, yeah, so kratom, we haven't sold kratom. Ashley's been open here for about 5 years.
Okay.
She hasn't served kratom up until about a few years ago. I'm not sure exactly when, but she was kind of skeptical at first because people use it in place of opiates and go straight from those addictions to kratom. So she didn't want to be dealing with that kind of a crowd, but it's been fine since, from what I know. That is more of a muscle relaxer. It works the same way as an opiate would without being an opiate, but it comes from a kind of coffee leaf too, so it's also a stimulant.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there are different kinds of it, different strains that work in certain directions, more stimulating or more muscle relaxing.
Okay.
But that they're constantly trying to make that illegal. A bill actually just went through in Louisiana to try to make it illegal here again, and everybody's been kind of on edge, about the results of it. Yeah, I mean, the owner here is constantly experimenting with new herbal, things in case they do make it illegal, the people that rely on it every day.
Yeah, for sure. So kava is something that sounds like served around the world.
Yeah, it is, but it's not. I remember in parts of Europe, I was looking for. I mean, maybe that's just what you do when you travel to a new place, find the kava bar, the cool people to hang out with. But
Yeah.
I was in Europe. Everywhere I went, almost, I could not find a kava bar, but never found anything of it being illegal. It's just not as well known about. There's a few kava bars in Florida. And we just had some owners of a new kava bar that just opened up in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's just certain spots. I mean, of the states, it's more prominent than others that you'll have people that have heard about it and take it.
Yeah.
New York, there's a kava bar that's supposed to be pretty popular.
So it sounds like they're pretty. There's not a lot of them in the U.S. Or I guess
not
just,
really.
just
No.
spotty.
It's just spotty, yeah. Florida, there's a few of them, and there's the one in New York. I don't know of anywhere else. I'd imagine California probably has one.
I guess, can you tell us about how you found kava and your first experience with it?
I had a friend introduce me to it a while back, maybe 4 years ago. Yeah, and it was great. I guess I'd taken a little bit longer to come back. I had a friend that was living right up the street from this place, though, and he has bad anxiety that he takes it for. In the middle of the night, he wanted to run over here and grab a drink. And we ended up just hanging out with people. I mean, everybody's so nice. Even a lot of the regulars, not all of the regulars even drink kava or kratom even, they'll just come for the atmosphere. So, yeah, I mean, it was the environment that drew me to it. I would say I would prefer the kratom a little bit more, but as of lately, I have been taking the kava a little bit more. I had one bad experience with it, and I threw up a lot, but I probably just had taken way too much and deserved it.
That's the only thing that I've ever heard about kratom is like you take too much of it and you start throwing
Yeah,
up.
you're gonna. But other than that, it's not. Kava's the same way too. You're not gonna. I don't think there's a way to overdose from it. You know, you'll know when you've had too much of it.
Yeah.
And I guess you deserve it. You know, in excess, anything's bad.
So is kava the only thing that y'all serve here?
We serve the kava, we serve the kratom, and we have small kava chocolates that the owner makes from home. We do have a few different kinds of desserts that are like vegan, gluten-free snacks. We do have different sodas, like root beers and ginger ale, and just all the teas that we mix the kratom with, too, we do serve on their own. So several different kinds of teas.
Is that all homemade, like stuff made in-house, I guess?
Yeah, it is.
That's cool.
There's also I guess this place is Kava Bar plant nursery, too, as well. There's all kinds of plants in the back, so the owner's pretty good with, I guess she knows her
lots of succulents
teas.
and things like that.
Yeah.
So... Very cool. Well, it's a very cool environment. I can really appreciate that it's a place for recovering people to come, and that's getting rid of alcohol in my life is something that I've been contemplating on pretty heavily here recently. So it's cool to know that there's another place to come hang out where you don't have to consume alcohol.
Well, especially in New Orleans too. This place is
Yeah. It's the hub of it.
Yeah, you get sucked into it if you like to drink.
No doubt. Well, cool. I guess we'll wrap it up there. I appreciate you talking to me
Thank you, man.
and dropping some knowledge on us. So thanks again. Peace.